Welcome to On Purpose Ministry, where we, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, help you, my brothers and sisters, find your purpose so you can live in purpose, walk in purpose, and do everything on purpose. I am your sister, Rashida, and we welcome you. So, shalom, family, peace, and blessings to each and every one of you. I'm just here with a word of what God has placed on my spirit to speak about. Today, I pray it reaches whoever it's for and bless whoever it is for. Always take everything back to God, regardless of how accurate it is. But what God has been placing on my spirit is something that many of his children are dealing with as things come to end on their journey. And if you remember back a few months ago, I know none of my videos are up anymore, but back a few months ago, I did a word. And in that word, I had said that at the end of your journey, it's going to be a fight, but it's not going to be between you and your spouse. It's not going to be between you and any counterfeits or your enemies or anything of that sort. It's going to be between you and the Most High. It's going to be a fight between you and God. It's going to be a fight between you and your obedience to God to do whatever it is that he is telling you to do because of how your journey has been. And at the end, you're going to be exhausted because of all the fighting you had to do, all of the things you had to go through and endure. So when you come towards the end of your journey, you're no longer interested in doing anything that God is telling you to do. And it's also a fear surrounding trusting God again, because you feel like, why did God have to take you through all of this just to give you what it is that he has promised you? You might be feeling like it's too much of what God is requiring of you to do. And you might feel like that load is just too heavy for you to carry. And you wondering, okay, God, was it necessary for me to go through all of this just for your promise to be fulfilled in my life? I understand why some of the things had to take place, but it's some things, God, that has happened on my journey that you might quite feel like, I don't understand why that had to be a part of this, or why I had to sacrifice this, or why I had to go through that just for your promises to be released in my life. You didn't expect the journey to go the way it has went. So you're tired, you're frustrated, you're angry, you have all of these thoughts. And some of you have come to a place where, I just want God. Okay, God, I just want to be in relationship with you. You can release the promises to me. I don't want that man. I don't want that woman. Or I don't want this. I don't want that. You might not want any of it at all because of you're tired. You're worn out. You went through so much to get to this point to where you like, I don't even want anything that you're offering me, God. Can I just be done with it already? And that's what I was saying months ago. When you get to the end of your journey, the fight is going to be between you and God, and not necessarily like you just being disobedient to him just because, just to be doing it. It's because you're tired. You're really tired, and you're frustrated, and you're tired of hearing, oh, this is going to happen, and or this is going to take place. You're tired of receiving words and not bearing fruit from those words that you are receiving, not seeing evidence of what is being spoken into your life. You just hearing these things, and certain things are taking place, but it's not moving as fast as you would like it to move, and you're tired of giving so much, and it seems like you get so little in return of what God is asking you to sacrifice, what God is asking you to let go of, what God is asking you to do. So at the end of your journey, that fight is going to be between you and God, who you started it with, because you no longer want to be on it. You no longer want to do it, but you love God so much that you are not willing to walk away, even though you want to so bad and you're so close to doing it. Your obedience to God won't allow you to. Your relationship with God won't allow you to. So it's things that God has been telling you to do, that he has been showing you over and over again, and you have been ignoring it. It's things that God has been telling you to do, that he has been speaking to you about, but you have been ignoring him and pretending like you don't see those signs. You don't see those confirmations of what God is telling you to do. And it's something that God has already had you to do before or tried before, but because it didn't work before in the way that you thought it should go, and it didn't go the way you thought it should go, and it didn't work out the way you planned it to, you were afraid to try again because you don't want to get your hopes up in this situation, doing whatever it is that God is telling you to do again, trying whatever it is God is telling you to try again, and it failed and it don't work out for your good. So is a fear now around being obedient to God. Is a fear around doing whatever it is God is telling you to do because of what God has told you to do in the past, and because of how it looked in the past, and because of how it turned out in the past. Now is a fear around trusting God, is a fear around obeying God, being obedient to his word and what it is he is telling you to do. But understand this, everything always works out for your good when you obey God, when you trust God. You might not understand why you had to go through that, why God told you to do that, why God told you to go speak to that person, and that person responded to you the way they responded to you, why God had you to go apply for this and you got denied. You might not understand what God was doing, but in the end, it all will be revealed. He's teaching you to trust him. So whatever it is that God has been telling you to do, that you have been putting off because you like, what's the point? I already know how this is going to end. I already know how this is going to turn out. This happens all the time. I don't want to try again. I don't want to trust again. I don't want to wait again. I don't want to do anything. I just want this to be over with. I understand how you feel. Trust me, I do. But I'm just here to remind you that God knows what he's doing. Even when it seems like everything is a mess, God is in it. He knows what he's doing. You trust him when you came on this journey. You trust him throughout the journey. Don't stop trusting him now. Don't stop obeying him now. Don't walk away from what it is that God has called you to stand for. Who it is God has called you to stand for. He does not lie. And I'm just here to remind you that God does not lie. No matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, no matter what it sounds like, God does not lie. Even if it feels uncomfortable, God does not lie. Even if it does not look good, even if you're going through hell right now, God does not lie. He does not lie. And you know he doesn't. You know you hear from God. And all of this has caused you to question your ability to hear from God. He still speaks to you the way he did in the beginning. And even stronger now. And even in more ways now. You hear from God. You know God's voice. Don't allow nobody to make you feel like you don't know God's voice. Trust him like you always have. Believe him like you always have. Wait on him. It's coming to an end. Trust God and try again. Whatever it is that he is telling you to do. And watch it work out for your good. And watch this time it be different. And it won't turn out the way that you are expecting it to do. You will not fail. So release that fear that you have today. Surround and trust in God again. Doing whatever it is that God has told you to do. Come out of walking in disobedience, even though you might not see it as being disobedience, even though we might not view it as it is. Delaying to do what God has told us to do and thinking that we'll do it in our own time is still disobedience. It's still disobedience. No matter how we put it, it's disobedience. And God deserves our best. Remember, He releases the promises in the order that He chooses to release it. He might give you that house first, or He might give you that car first. He might promote you on that job. He might start that business first. He might release your spouse first, or He might release your spouse last. It's all in the order that He desires to release it. How He does it for somebody else is not how He's going to do it for you. He gives it to you at the level that He thinks you are ready to receive it. He does not lie. Trust God again. Believe God again. Obey God again. You will not fail. So whatever it is God has been telling you to do, let go of that fear of how you think it's going to turn out and try again. Shalom, family.